I'll now recognize myself for 5 minutes. One of the reasons that I wanted to hold this hearing on AI in education is not only because I think the potential is so incredible in the specific context of education, but also because I think it offers a window into just how transformational the technological changes that we're experiencing right now are going to be across all sectors of society, which I think is something that really policymakers and the public at large is starting to get to wake up to a little bit. And there's been some references to that during today's hearing. Specifically, Ms. Moat, you mentioned this is a technology on par with electricity. Ms. Rafael Baer, am I saying that correctly? Close enough, Rafael Baer. You mentioned that the leading labs are increasingly talking about the arrival of AGI, artificial general intelligence. So I wanted to give each of you a few moments to expound on those ideas.
Well, an arrival technology, right? This is electricity, this is the internet, this is automobiles. You used to have to pick up the phone and call a dispatcher to call a taxi. Now you can do it from your phone. And so arrival technologies displace workers. They can require new skills and competencies, but they also require a level of support in disrupting of existing systems so that they can be embraced across industry rather than having them replace humans. I think the work that is happening right now in terms of what Congress can do, our colleagues have really mentioned the need for research and development, the support for public data and infrastructure, the need for some set of guidelines and guardrails, supporting educator professional development, providing equitable access, and this body really convening collaboration and dialogue. If we're to meet this moment, we need to do it together.
Great,
I look forward to the opportunity.
You bet.
Thank you for the opportunity to share more on this. I think that the fact that we are hearing over and over again that we are getting closer and closer to AGI is something that concerns me a great deal, that this is not a conversation that is more commonplace across America right now. The fact that once again we're in a moment where it feels like we're asking our education system to take on something that's actually a societal issue. And I see this and hear this every single day from state and district superintendents who earnestly want to move forward on this work, but are really concerned about cybersecurity and data. They need to have far more expertise, and that is a critical role of the federal government. That is a critical role of a role like a national cybersecurity director who should be helping to make sure that we have the safest systems possible around cyber and data, so that states and districts can do their correct role, which is to lead these conversations locally and to make sure that they have visions around artificial intelligence and the kind of workforce upskilling that's required that matches their local context and their local needs, with them being able to take off their plate this level of expertise and oversight around keeping their systems cyber free in terms of cybersecurity issues.
Thanks very much. And Mr. Chisholm and Dr. Dobrin, I wanted to, if we time permitting, to pose a question to you as well. There's been a lot of discussion about further research that's needed, some of which has already happened. If you could pose one kind of urgent research question when it comes to evaluating the effectiveness of certain AI tools, what would it be? Like, one possibility for me would be the immersiveness of the tool. You know, you could have a sort of animated Einstein teach you physics. You could have a text-based Einstein teach you physics. If we have a sufficiently developed VR, you could actually float through the cosmos as it happens. So that might be one area to look. But what would be the research questions that are most urgent?
I'll go ahead. I really think I love the idea, especially with students, but I'm really focused on the teacher side of things because we have to have teachers to get to students. So for me, it's really teacher efficacy. I think that's the big thing. How can we use this to make them better and more efficient at what they do? So again, I don't have that 28, 29, 30-year veteran that wants to walk out the door. She wants to stay. You know, the teacher that I talked about earlier, she's staying with us. She's not going to retire. So to me, it is about teacher efficacy, and I think that is the primary focus for me.
Great. Dr. Dobrin?
I would pick up on something we've already been discussing, and that's access. I think there needs to be longer-term research on not just where access is available, for instance, in Appalachia in the Southwest where broadband is not as easily accessible, but more so what happens in the distinction between our students who only have access to the free data sets, the free LLMs, GPT, Gemini, Copilot, as opposed to those students who have the socioeconomic access to proprietary data sets and to platforms that are more disciplinarily specific. We need to figure out the differences of what happens with those access points.
That is an interesting question. I mean, one of the things we see happening, though, is that what is the paid tier this month is available to the free tier next month. So there is this sort of democratizing aspect to the technology. With that, the representative from Florida, Ms. Wilson, is recognized for 5 minutes.